Share Facebook, tweet, Pinterest, email. JR Hildebrands realizes he will go down in Indianapolis 500 history for his Bill Buckner moment. In the 100th anniversary of the race in 2011, Hildebrands was in the lead on the final lap of the race. All he had to do was make it to the checkered flag and he would be a rookie winner of the world's greatest race. But as he came out of the North Chute, Charlie Kimball's car had run out of fuel and was on the apron of the entrance to turn 4. Hildebrands tried to avoid Kimball's car, got into the gray area of the track and crashed into the outside wall with the checkered flag in sight. As Hildebrands' Panther Racing Chevrolet skidded down the front stretch, it appeared for a moment that he might slide under the checkered flag and still win the race. But the late Dan Wheldon's Honda was at full speed and he raced past Wheldon to win the Indy 500 for the second time in his career. It was only the second time in Indy 500 history that a race-winning pass was made on the final lap. Just as Buckner of the Boston Red Sox let an easy ground ball go between his legs that allowed the New York Mets to win Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, they'd win it all in Game 7. Hildebrands' gaffe was one of the most heartbreaking near-misses in sports history. 7 years later, Hildebrands is back for another shot at finally getting to victory lane in the Indianapolis 500. This time, he is with JR. His teammate is young Sage Karam. Hildebrands won a lot of fans that day in 2011, because of the grace, dignity and poise he displayed in what would otherwise be a crushing moment. It was a life lesson that Hildebrands carries to this day. It sort of teaches you that this place doesn't owe you anything, Hildebrands said. I've had some really great cars since then, like cars that for sure were good enough to win the race. I think of 2014 and 2016 as examples. Pit stop strategy. If we'd been up at the front, we certainly would have been in the hunt, had top 10s, all that kind of stuff. The one year that Hildebrands nearly won the Indy 500 was not with the best car he's had at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For me, 2011 was not a race where we were really good enough just outright to be able to win the race, he recalled. That's why we took a major strategy gamble and ended up in the position we were in at the end, having gone through kind of all the ups and downs, different types of cars, different types of situations since then. Looking back on all of it makes you realize how good you have to be at every little thing to be able to actually close the deal. It doesn't just come down to having a really great car. It doesn't come down to just having really great pit stop calling, the right strategy at the end of the race. You got to be prepared for all of those things to be exceptional, to be able to put it all together. Sometimes it falls into your lap a little bit. Sometimes the way that you end up doing things, your group of guys or whatever end up making decisions, you end up with a little bit of an unfair advantage at the end of the race. Hildebrands realizes he may never get closer to victory in the Indianapolis 500 than he was when he crashed in the last turn of the last lap in 2011. But he is certainly never going to give up. I think I've adopted much more of a mentality of we're just going to try to be great at everything here so that we increase our chances regardless of how this whole thing plays out over the last stints, basically, Hildebrands said. I think that's made me better, that's made me a little bit more focused on how we go through the month. I think as a group it helps you to be more ready to take advantage when good opportunities come your way at the end, and the next time that opportunity comes his way, Hildebrands will be better prepared not to boot it away like Buckner did in the 1986 World Series. Or like he himself did in the 2011 Indy 500.